Navigating today's real estate market can be tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim Paola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
Yeah, that's right. We are live on a Saturday morning. Great to have you with us. Thank you for finding your way in. Thanks for being a part of 2 hours of infotainment every Saturday here on Real Radio. Maybe you're listening on the old terrestrial radio, 92.1 or 101.7. We salute you. Maybe you're live streaming with us. Yes, we do that. We're in studio with cameras set up for a reason. Find us live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Well, let me tell you, Florida Talk Real Estate on both. That's Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. On YouTube, Florida Talk Real Estate LLC, home of a ton of informational chunk videos. And, of course, our live stream on a Saturday. Welcome. And, by the way, you can be a part of the program. You've heard that toll-free number. I'll give it to you again and again. 877-927-6969. That is toll-free. You got questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. Dial it up. The first voice you'll hear, the melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire, Jimothy. Good morning, my brother from another mother.
Hello, and good morning, Mr. C. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm fantastic. Nice to see you as always. Pleasure to have you along for the ride.
Thank you.
And let's go ahead and get a starting lineup on a Saturday morning. I'm your buddy, your pal, Johnny C., your whole buddy, your pal, your air traffic control. Your starting lineup on a Saturday, your very important people, your VIPs. Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance in Juno Beach. Ross, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Good to see everybody.
Nice to see you as well. You're on
Thanks
camera?
for the clap.
You over there? You on camera? All right, he's on camera.
Hello.
There he is. Hot Ross on camera.
Never heard of it.
I think you heard that in a minute. Mike Rauch is here as well. We call him the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. He's special, very important person as well.
I'm special.
You are. I don't care what anybody says. They say you're not special. You are to me.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cameras this morning. I look special because this light is just making me shine. It's making me shine here. Everyone else looks really nice, and then I look super.
We need
bright.
We need powder.
Maybe I need a hat. I think I need
hat.
A hat like yours.
I can get you my hat.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Oh,
mood lighting.
Is that
All
right? You like that?
Nice. Oh,
Whoa.
whoa, hey now.
We have all kinds of options with lighting in here.
Now I think go back the way it was, Jim.
The other
You
way
guys all looked great. It's just mine. I wonder if this light is just like angled towards me somehow.
might be.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, nobody in the radio land knows what we're talking about.
Well, what it does is push them to the stream, though. You want to see what we're talking about?
That's
Go
right.
Check us out on Facebook or YouTube and check out how shiny Mike is today.
That's right.
Shining like a star.
Well, anyway, good morning.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Like a diamond.
Yep. Nice to
Good
see you.
song, I bet.
Oh,
I'm going to write that
Write
down.
that down.
Write that down.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Like a diamond.
Yeah. That's ours. Email it to yourself. Hello, Jimmy D. There's Jim DePola, our fearless leader. Not so shiny today. Check it out on Facebook or YouTube. he's been in the powder room.
Shiny and new has not been Jim's. Nobody's called Jim shiny and new for
Right.
how long? Decades.
It's been a minute. Yeah, exactly. When he came out the packaging.
Ding, ding.
Well, hello, everybody.
Well, good morning,
What
Jim.
a great start. He is our fearless leader. I've told you for 11 plus years. He runs a top producing Keller Williams team. Keller Williams Innovations. You find the Florida Home Pros team and Jim DePola. Jimmy D, how you be?
Hey, I'm doing okay. Happy South Florida, everybody. Looking forward to the Dolphin game tomorrow.
Oh, you
Yeah.
going down there?
No, I'm just looking forward to watching it. I'm enjoying watching the Dolphins.
You know who's
this
not
year.
looking forward to that game?
Who's that?
Giants fans.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because
Right?
that team sucks.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I
Hey,
mean,
you settle down over there, Mr. Commanders. Your team is terrible, too.
Yeah, we're having a tough go.
Tough.
And I
go.
think the expectations were probably similar with the Giants and the Commanders this year. Like
let's
we
just
got
not
we
finish
could
last?
do something.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
there was like, we might be okay.
Huh.
And yeah.
Trash.
It's what it's 2-2 now.
Yeah, well, everybody saw the Bears look like world beaters against
Yeah.
your team on Thursday night.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
we went to overtime, so we almost had a chance
When was
at
this?
winning.
When?
Right? Wasn't this past Sunday?
Oh, no, you're confusing other losses.
Oh,
Yeah, you're
okay.
confusing your losses at this point.
Well,
in Mike's mind, they went into overtime. That's
All that matters. It was close. It was like a moral victory.
He's looking it up now. He
I'm
doesn't
looking it up
believe
because I
He's
swear I
looking it up.
watched a field goal defeat us.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Still a
against-
loss, though. It's still an L, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dolphins, Giants, you're excited? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been really nice watching the Dolphins this year. You know, it's kind of nice knowing that you have a shot when you're walking into the game. And I watch every year. I watch, when they were 4-12 or whatever it was that tank for 2 a year, all that. I watched it all, and I watched every single year. But it's fun to know that they're competing this year, and it's a good group of guys. I really feel like the guys are fun to watch. The coaches and everybody.
There's a
So
lot of excitement around that team.
yeah, it's
Yep.
very interesting. So
Rightfully so.
it'll be
Yep.
fun. Yeah, it's
That's
fun. It's fun to watch it all. Hey, we have so much to talk about. The future of the economy. Nobody knows what the heck is going on. I actually heard 3 economists talk yesterday on like some wonky show, and they had no idea what's going on, and they admitted we just don't know. We've never been in any of this kind of stuff. So, but it's affecting us greatly. Interest rates are pretty high. Treasury yield bonds are not looking that good, although we might have a little reprieve there. Insurance is crazy town. When we tell you what Jimmy's insurance policy went up to for his brand new construction home in 2 months, the difference in the policy. And I think this is partly rated to the rate hikes we talked about before, but I'm not sure. You're going to be mouth drop on the insurance premium hike, and he hasn't even got the house yet. It's
Talking
just a
about new
quote.
construction.
Brand new
Mhm.
construction. 2 months ago, you got the quote, Jimmy,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And now he has a new quote now that he's almost ready to move into the house, and the quote is pretty amazingly different.
Huh.
So we're going to talk a little bit about insurance and what's going on with that. But despite all of this stuff that we're going to be talking about, this is pretty amazing. The market really is still not doing bad. This market, man, it just gets the heck kicked out of it, and it just keeps chugging along. Last week, just anecdotally, here goes the fire alarm. Go the weekly fire alarm.
No,
Gotta love
November,
it.
not a fire.
Yeah.
Not a fire.
So,
Thankfully, we'll sit right here.
yeah.
You start talking about the market, and the alarm
Yeah,
bells
the
start
alarm
going
goes
off.
off. It's
Yeah.
like you're talking
That's
about
what
the
you
market. So, despite all that craziness of the market, listen to what happened in the Florida Home Pros and the mortgage firm and Brightway Insurance last week with just the customers coming in. A lot of them from this radio show, right? Congratulations to Janet. Janet closed on her home. She's a first-time home buyer.
Awesome.
She bought a home in Port St. Lucie, a very nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage on a corner lot. House is needs a little updating, right? But it's a great starter home. Definitely affordable, right, Mike? For her, at the
Yeah, I
time?
think she was probably, it's one of those, sometimes coming off the pre-approval, you say, okay, well, this is the range, and she was one of those where she wanted to be in a range. She qualified higher, but she kind of had her budget, which I like. And you come off of that pre-approval saying, I don't know what's out there, right? I don't
Mhm.
have a really good sense of what's out there. Of course, I'm not the real estate agent, but I just know it was going to be tough. And she was able to get into something relatively quickly. I think within 2 weeks, right?
Mhm.
Maybe within 2 weeks, in contract on a home to buy at a very competitive price point. But she found it.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. Did she?
Yeah.
Was there any concession she had to give up? Like, was she looking in Port St. Lucie, or
well,
did she have to settle
Yeah,
in
so
Port St. Lucie?
these are all teachable moments, Johnny. That's what I wanted to bring up. So Janet's a first-time home buyer. She's paying these high interest rates that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah.
But she still plowed forward, right? And then she made all the right moves. Janet was such a great customer on so many levels, right? So she knew her numbers, number one, right?
Yes.
We got her to Mike, know your numbers. It's so important now with the interest rates, and we're going to be talking about that later. They went up almost a quarter point this week. That means you lose 2.5% of your purchase power in 1 week if you're not locked in or whatever, right?
like that.
So she knew her numbers really, really well. Then she also knew what she wanted, and she had to have that single family home. She preferred Palm Beach County, but we explained to her through going through the MLS and searching through everything that her best options for quality of homes
Right.
in her price range was going to be St. Lucie County, right? So she right away shifted there right away.
And it worked out because I think she works in northern Palm Beach County,
Yes,
like on the northern half of it, I guess. And so,
yes, she's in like the Tequesta area, if
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. So the other thing is she's very close to the Turnpike N95 where her house is located.
Great.
So she's not too far off of Port St. Lucie Boulevard. right? And pretty close to Bayshore, right? So she has a shorter commute than she was than she was expecting. But also she right away went to the right geographic location where she had choices. I have another buyer, God bless her. She's on a very tight budget. She is a very tight geographic location. We've been looking for her.
That sounds like a nice compliment. She
She
said she is a very tight geographic location. Right?
Hey,
All right.
hey.
All right, Jim.
This is a family
Jeez.
show.
I mean,
So,
for her.
Hey,
the thing,
don't let me forget. I had a success story for Janet that I wanted to point out.
yeah. So one of the things is with that customer, because of the small geographic area, is that oh my God.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
What, Jim?
So she doesn't have any choices. So she's been looking now for 7 months, and we're not finding because the
Yeah.
inventory is so tight. So Janet, getting back to Janet, she switched right over to the right area. Very aggressive at looking at homes. In fact, that home that she bought, Mike, I don't know if you know this, she didn't see it until the day of closing.
Really?
Yeah, she saw it yesterday when we closed yesterday. So what
That is
happened
very
was
aggressive.
she was supposed to go up for the inspection, and she got a car trouble and couldn't get there. And we knew the house was going to go quick, so we put in the offer.
Had she seen videos?
Yes, we
Okay,
took
yeah, yeah, yeah.
videos and did all this stuff for her, but she didn't actually get to walk it till yesterday.
Well, that had to be a nervous moment.
She was very nervous, and I didn't know that until yesterday. And because David, my business partner, David, he's in a different country right now, so I had to wrap everything up. So anyway, she did. So she knew the right area. She knew her numbers. She was realistic on price and location, and then was very aggressive on turning in offers. She was really happy with that house. She said that house was in the best condition of the houses she looked at,
Perfect.
and the location was excellent. And to move in, she's going to need to paint it, and it probably needs to be professionally cleaned. I wish the sellers would clean the house a little better for her. But
Well, she had a little extra money
yes.
too, so that was good.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask, Mike. She's one of the first people in a long time where I saw her get a check at the closing table. So explain how that happened.
So the check is a different story, but let me.
Right.
The real success story was hers. Is she's a first-time home buyer. We were able to use down payment assistance for her. So we started off. Hometown Heroes funds have been out for how long now? Like out of funds for.
That's right. I forgot about this.
So, but she was using that $10,000 down payment assistance, right? It's very similar to what you did, Johnny, when you bought your home back in the day.
Beautiful.
But the loan originator who knows what he's about knows that every other Tuesday, Hometown Heroes, they have fallout from their like loans that were reserved that didn't close. And so every other Tuesday, they're reopening. If they have additional funding, there's a little window of time where they're saying, hey, we've got funding now, first come, first serve.
Oh.
And so somebody was paying attention to that and was able to switch her out of the 10,000 back into Hometown Heroes, which was about an additional almost $6,000 for her.
Exactly. It
That
was
might be
over.
somebody we should get on the show.
Yeah.
She just closed yesterday. We can't get her on today. She's a
No,
little
he meant the loan originator.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
The enterprising loan originator who's watching out for his clients and has his clients' best interests in mind.
I was actually going to bring up.
unbelievable.
I have the notes in here to bring that up.
Sorry,
that was
Mike, but we're
that,
moving on.
No, that was
his number.
that was an amazing thing. Think about it. Is that Mike was able to grab an extra almost $6,000 for a customer just by
Going,
attention.
oh, look at
Yeah,
this. I might be able to.
and keeping on top
Yeah.
of things instead
Right.
because he could have just like a lot of mortgage.
Set it and forget it.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, they got the 10 and then just not think about it anymore,
Yep.
right? So she
we got what
an
we were
extra.
looking for. So on we move, right?
So that extra money, because she put a bigger down payment, she didn't need all the money.
So then you get into, so why did she get, she didn't really get money back at closing.
Right, I
it
get
wasn't
it
like
now,
extra,
right.
but here's the thing, like they have a weird rule with the Florida housing DPA programs where you can't get money back at closing. Like normally, Johnny, if I had put an earnest money deposit of $30,000, because that's what it took to secure the contract, but I only needed $20,000 to close, right? Down payment, closing costs, whatever. I've got 10,000 extra, whatever. The title company just gives me that back at closing. I got too much money in the pot.
Right.
So with Hometown Heroes, you actually can't do that. You have to reduce the loan amount. right? So you take that
Ah.
extra money, instead of getting back at close, you basically buy, you put more down payment. The problem with that is sometimes that might make sense, but it doesn't leave you the money in your pocket. It reduces your payment by, $60 if it were $10,000 a month, $10,000. So you kind of have to work around that. And in this contract, the earnest money deposit was X amount. That put us in the hole. So basically we had to maneuver a little bit and essentially say, hey, wait a second. All parties are agreeing there's no earnest money deposit on this contract. So now that money is sitting with title, and it's just it's the borrower's money. It's not really part of the contract anymore. So that's the way it can potentially go back.
So that means that good buyer's agents should know that and not put too much money down if they're using the Hometown Heroes program. What about the other bond program?
Yeah, I think any of the Florida housing programs are similar to that.
So you don't put down more if you need the cash. If you need the cash after the closing,
or you have to maneuver. And you can imagine like going to a seller and saying, "Hey, what do you think about we want to cancel this earnest money deposit from the contract?" Right. That is going to spook any seller out there. They're going to say, "Why? What do you mean? That's my only recourse if you don't perform your end of the deal." And so it's a little bit tricky to maneuver that, but. Yeah, I would say in general, as a buyer's agent, you want your earnest money deposit in any circumstance to be as little as possible, but enough to get the deal signed, right? If you could get away with $1, Jim, as a prudent buyer and buyer's agent, you get away with you do it for $1
on the buyer's side for sure,
right?
Yeah,
right.
But so we had to maneuver. The good thing there is like switching to Hometown Heroes. Now, how much money? We're talking about fallout from the program, so that. The amount of available funds every other Tuesday is going to be dwindling and dwindling. You're just not going to get any fallout or that much fallout.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
So the way the fallout application works, it's not people that are currently in the hopper, like in line waiting. You got to jump in and get that new money, that's a new line for them.
It's first come, first serve. It's every other Tuesday, 10 o'clock. They're like, hey, we have, X $100,000 available.
So it's just the timing was beautiful. And fortunately, she was working with you.
And I was watching for
you
it.
and cared enough. That's beautiful.
Is that awesome?
Yeah, it is
awesome. I love that.
And for those that didn't pick up, that was Mike is the loan originator.
When she had...
it was Mike the whole time, Ross.
Right. Yeah. When we were at the closing table and I saw that the amount that she got from the state was larger than I was expecting.
Yeah.
That's when I found out that you had done that. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And Nancy knew because we had dealt with the earnest money situation, but awesome. So and if you're a buyer out there and you are utilizing DPA, and if your loan originator hasn't talked about it, that's a good time to remind them and say, hey, are you doing that every other Tuesday thing? Because if sometimes Hometown Heroes can be beneficial maybe on the interest rate, but also it's a little bit more cash under the right circumstances. So if you're a qualified buyer out there and you're using down payment assistance, maybe, tap your loan originator, call me, of course. And we'll make sure that if it's eligible for you, we'll do it.
FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
Just want to go over, I don't want to take too much time on this, but I want to go over some of the success stories or shout outs that we had just in the last week. So even though that this market that we're going to be talking about today is not going to be a lot of fun stuff, all happy, cheery stuff, right? Just to give you an idea of what's happening in South Florida, one of the things that's different about this radio show and my real estate team, Florida Home Pros, is that because of our radio signal, we do stuff all the way from Vero Beach down to Dade County. And we're in 3 or 4 counties in this group of homes, just to show you that, we're kind of a little bit everywhere. So we kind of have a flavor of what's happening all over the market, not just little pockets.
Right.
So last week we put our property in Aberdeen, which is it's connected to a membership equity community. It's a villa in a membership equity community, but this part of the neighborhood is not membership equity. We put the house under contract in, I'm sorry, hold on here. Just bear with me. I apologize for this. My computer slowed down. Okay, we put that house under contract in, now I moved all the addresses all over. Sorry about this. This is bad.
Let's guess.
Okay. 10 days. Okay, so this one took a little bit of time because it took us like 5 days to negotiate, but 10 days on market. We got full list. We did have to give a little concession for some repairs on the house, but she's getting 98% of the list price to sold price. Congratulations, Fran. Fran's going to be moving to Pennsylvania to go to her family. Fran is one of my favorite customers this year. She's 85 years old, and she is sharp as a tack, lives by herself, totally independent woman. Feel like you're in a sitcom or something when you hang out with her because she's just such a vibrant lady.
Yeah, she's a hoot. Huh?
Oh my God, I love Fran. And she's an Italian lady who ripped out her kitchen she bought this house like 3 years ago, ripped out the kitchen because she's an Italian baker and had to turn it into an Italian baker kitchen.
Wow.
And anyway, she's moving to Pennsylvania. I'm really happy. And she was referral from Jennifer and Jason Jordan. She's related to Jennifer and Jason Jordan, where we helped sell their house and Mike helped buy their new home up in what state was that again? North Carolina? I can't remember. South Carolina.
I think it was South Carolina.
South Carolina.
I was gonna say Georgia or South Carolina.
Yeah, I think it was South Carolina. And Jennifer and Jordan, this is their relative, and they said, "Hey, Grandma, you got to go over to Jim."
That's right.
So we took care of that for her. That's great. Everything's going great for her.
Good.
We also put Glenridge under contract. Congratulations, Bryce. This is the house in West Palm, the 2-bedroom, 1-bath in the older neighborhood. We got that under contract. Now that house, to be honest with you, that took 108 days. That's my longest house on market this year was 108 days. We did get it sold.
That's a long time.
It is a long time. And we got less than what we started out with, but within the range, we did okay based on repairs. But that one was a really rough one when we close. I'll have a lot of stories about that to talk about.
How many offers did you get on that home that were less than what you ended up with? Like I think you had some low offers
12,
very early. Okay.
12, something like that. Yeah.
So he declined 12 offers and stuck it out and it worked out.
It got more than 12 of the other offers. Yeah. Now that house is in West Palm. Okay. That one took a long time to sell, but it was an older home and had a little bit of structural problems. Okay. Now we have another house in Wellington, Oakberry. Bill, congratulations. Bill sold a house in Wellington's Edge. It took us about 16 days to sell it. We got full list price on the property, and everything's going good on that property. We put it under contract last Thursday. Congratulations, Omar and Jesse. They're in Fort Pierce. They have a beautiful single-family home out there. I love this. It's like a really old Florida home. I can't really describe it, but it has like terrazzo floors and wood beam ceilings that are probably maybe Dade County pine. Just a really cool home. That house was under contract in 4 days. We got close to list price. They're very happy with what they got, and we're racing to close on that one. Also, we put another property under contract, but it looks like it's falling apart. We're going to keep that as a teachable moment, so we're going to hold that off for a little bit, but no big deal with that. It will probably
just another opportunity for someone else.
Yeah, and we're probably going to get more money now that we put it under contract the first time, which I'll talk about sometimes because sometimes you get more. And yes, Muriel, I know you're probably listening, and she's always very conservative. We'll probably get her as good or better on the next one. Excellent. And finally, we had Chris. We put his house under contract in Hallandale, and he went through the inspection of the appraisal. Now it looks like it's going to close. And then last but not least, and we're going to talk about this. I don't know when we should be doing the breaks, Jimmy, because we started late. So what is going on with the breaks? That's what I'm wondering.
Take them whenever you want.
You can take them wherever you want.
Yep,
okay, then let's go ahead and take the break at the 9:30. And then on the flip side, we're going to roll right into Jimmy as the last shout out because we got through the final stuff. Jimmy doesn't think so, but I'm telling him we got through the final stuff. But what we're going to talk about, Mike, is I've had 5 or 6 houses this year that we had FHA problems when we were doing the appraisal, not because of the price, but because of the condition of the home. And then sellers and buyers had to work out how they're going to fix that if they wanted to close. So I thought that would be kind of interesting to talk to because we don't talk about that much. Then on the break after that, we're getting right over to Ross. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about, Ross. A lot of stuff's going on over there, dude. You're very quiet.
I mean,
very
it's
quiet
just in the
over there.
newspaper now.
Jim,
and
I'm sorry?
It's just in the newspaper and on the news now.
Yeah,
Ross has been living it forever.
Yeah, it's like you guys.
One more shout out, though. Don't forget our 7th county, Columbia County.
Why is
Lake City, Florida. John and Katie closed on their home
I didn't
up
know
there.
that.
Yeah, they closed on their home this week.
That's so. I've been so busy. I didn't even know that. John and Katie, congratulations. I feel so bad. I didn't even call you or anything. That's so bad.
Yeah, they closed Thursday.
That's so awesome. So with John and Katie, we helped them sell 2 houses down here. Then they took that money, used Mike with the mortgage. I got him a realtor up in Lake City, actually 2 cities, because they weren't sure where they wanted to live. Then they focused in on Lake City, found a house. We didn't have their houses on the market, fell apart. Then they put their houses on the market, found a better home. And then Mike got him the loan. And that's like a 20-acre spread or something.
Really nice.
Yeah,
really nice
that's what
up
I
there.
hear.
Yeah.
So congratulations, John and Katie. I'm so happy for you.
Super cool. Awesome. That's a bunch of shout outs, and maybe you could be the next shout out.
But the market's really bad.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, bad, really bad market.
What are you going to do? When you start getting normal rates, I think things get bad, I guess.
Yeah.
But we do add a lot to get into. And of course, you're always welcome to reach out to this team. Looking to buy a home, sell a home, stuck with your home, you don't know what to do. Everything in between. Literally everything in between. If it touches the world of real estate, we got pros at floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. You got a hotline there. Call it anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 888-973-7828, 888-973-7828. Again, you'll find it at floridatalkrealestate.com. Back in 4 minutes. Great to have you with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate right here. It's Real Radio.
We're everywhere you need to be. Find your favorite show at realradio921.com.
For more information about contests on the station, visit realradio921.com/rules.
Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
From the Gordon and Partners Weather Center. Have you or a loved one been injured through no fault of your own? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Collins with CBS 12 News. A warm start to the day under a mostly sunny sky. Temperatures will return to the upper 80s, near 90 degrees this afternoon, with a chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm later this afternoon and evening. Then partly cloudy, warm again tonight, with lows dropping down to the 70s Sunday morning.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows fall is the perfect time for outdoor projects. Right now, you can keep your yard looking its best and save. Take care of leaves with leaf blowers starting at just $89.98. Lowe's knows home improvement. While supplies last, see store for details.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
Real Radio 92.1. We are an iHeart radio station. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, that's it. 877-927-6969. Toll free. You got questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate? You want to jump into the conversation at hand? Don't be shy. Dial that up. Jimothy, our producer extraordinaire, he'll line you up. Good morning there, Jimothy.
Hello, and good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. I'm your boy, Johnny C., your old buddy, your pal, air traffic control. Our starting lineup on a Saturday is always action-packed with pros. I tell you all the time at floridatalkrealestate.com, that is a team of pros. And we get a little taste of that team every Saturday. Like Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. He's with us on this Saturday. Nice to see you, Ross.
You too. Are we cleared for takeoff?
We are cleared for takeoff.
All right, good.
Yep. As long as your tray table and your seat, you're in full upright position. Your seat back. Get that up, would you please? Yeah. Mike Rauch here. He's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Hello,
yeah,
Michael.
I'm doing. Hello. Hi.
You
Just had a little traumatic moment there. Ross goes, "Are we clear?" And I had that question. I have a busy week. You don't know how many times I get that question. Are we clear to close? Are we clear to close?
Right.
And you get some like Nancy is Jim's transaction coordinator, right? She basically just keeps on top of everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of this, busy agents have the transaction coordinator, and many of them are on the ball, and they'll be like, "Are we clear to close yet? Are we clear to close?" Just checking in. And it's not like they do it in a polite way, but it's, when you've asked me the third time today, "Are we clear to close yet?" And I'm just like, still waiting for the underwriter. It's like, I'll let you know.
Promise.
I'll give you an update.
Yeah.
But are we closing tomorrow?
That kind of drives me crazy too when people ask. And it's like, as soon as I know, I promise I'm going to call you back.
Yeah, we all want to be clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I know you want to know. I want to know too.
And you get the title companies. They're like, I need 24-hour notice, 48 hours. Pat, I'm like,
well,
no,
the title company we closed with yesterday for Janet.
Yeah.
They didn't even tell us that we were closing that day. Janet told us.
Yeah, they were.
And they kept asking and nobody. Yeah.
You get different levels of service.
And then when you went to the closing, they didn't go over the closing statement or anything. I was like, wow.
Oh, as you noted, different levels of service.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm privy to like the back and forth between like my closer and title when they're working on numbers, and sometimes that's a very close, fast, rapid process. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth trying to get the numbers finalized, and it's like 1-2 back and forth that's done, and then you have something it's like a 10 emails back and forth before they're finalized.
Hey,
like,
not all professionals are cut the same. That's why we try to tell you to go to floridatalkrealestate.com.
Oh, the pros.
Yeah,
right. And Trident Title, the largest title company in the state of Florida. It's part of the largest publicly owned title group in the country or something. It's 2 above my pay grade. But one of the things I love about Trident Title, attorney backed, really important. So when you have legal questions, they can't give you legal advice, but when there's legal issues, they could at least tell us what to expect or, what the next step is, and understanding people's rights. Not giving advice on how to use those rights, but knowing what everybody's rights are and what the options are. That's really important.
Sure.
And the fact that they can close almost anywhere, and it isn't just one small office with those staff. They have it all over the place. So Trident Title is a great title company if you're ever doing anything that you need title work, even if you're not buying or selling.
There you go.
You're just transferring title to somebody, or you're creating a living trust, those kind of things. Let us get you over to Trident Title.
FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's Jim DePola. He runs the Florida Home Pros team at Keller Williams Innovations. Hello, Jimmy D.
Hey. I wanted to get into FHA financing, Mike, because I've had probably at least 4 and maybe as many as 6 properties this year where I was the listing agent, and then we went, got through the inspection, got the house appraisal okay, where the number came in okay, but we were denied on the appraisal because of repairs that were needed to the house. So the most common, and I haven't dealt with this in so long. Go ahead.
I was going to say denied on the appraisal is not that's not the right term.
Well, that's the way Jimmy's looking at it.
Denied
Jimmy just
on the
went through
appraisal.
this. Okay, Jimmy's going through this now. So tell me about that. Tell me about that.
So appraisals will come it's all about the value of the home and the condition of the home. But if the condition isn't right on any type of appraisal, where it's FHA, VA, conventional, certain things are looking for a little bit differently. But it'll say that the home is worth this much. The value of home is this as is condition, or it's worth this much subject to these repairs. And so what you're getting is a subject to appraisal, meaning it's not this value until these repairs are done.
Yes.
That's what it means. So the value of the home is this subject to these repairs. And so you're getting some repairs required in order for the appraisal to, in order for the value to be valid.
Well, that's the wonky way of looking at it, but let me talk real life with Jimothy. Do you mind if we use Jimothy as example?
Sure,
Do you mind?
and that's what it said, right? It said
Yeah, it did say that,
Yeah.
but
his no matter what will be subject to final inspection.
Right,
so once
but-
the CO is issued and all that, the appraiser's got to go back out and make sure that it's
got to go make sure it's
Yeah.
okay. So with Jimothy's, his stuff was pretty mild compared to some of the other ones, and some of the ones we were expecting to maybe have a problem. But with Jimothy, basically,
Can I guess on his?
Go ahead.
So are you doing an FHA loan?
The buyer.
The buyer.
Oh, this is for the home you're
yes,
selling.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I don't know that. I was going to guess on his new construction.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no. So it was. Can you have that kind of problem in a new construction?
I wouldn't expect any condition
I was
issues,
gonna say.
but for example, if the appliances weren't in, it would be the
right.
if the
Yeah,
hot
that's
water,
right.
you got to have hot water.
Yeah.
If you're doing an
see.
FHA loan, like stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
okay, so this is his home
Yes,
that he's
this
selling.
is Jimmy's resale home that he's selling to
Okay.
buy the new home. So they are FHA buyers, and what ended up happening was they came back and said flaking paint,
Yeah.
and there was something and a little bit of wood rot around one of the jams of the garage door.
One of the panels on the
garage
had
door.
minor wood rot that needed, and it was said, pending those repairs, right? So it was minor wood rot and flaking paint, peeling paint. It just seemed minor to me to hold things up.
So FHA, if you see peeling paint, that's considered a health issue, safety issue, and so yeah.
Can you eat
peeling
those?
paint
So
when
that's
they're
a-
peeling off the chips?
I used to do that when I was in New York. Now you know what's wrong with me. When I was a little kid in New York, I used to eat those chips.
Yeah.
Can you save those
did.
chips, Jimmy?
Yeah,
I
well,
used to eat them. They were good.
They go great on
The
ham and
cream
cheese.
were the best.
Oh.
The cream color were the best.
That's what I
So,
have.
but Mike, so the thing is that that's a health issue, because Jimmy and I were talking before the show, and I said I think the flaking paint is about the house has to be in structurally good shape, and if you don't have paint, it's actually protection for water.
Yeah, I was going to say
intrusion.
it has probably something to do with water intrusion / mold,
Mold too. Yeah,
wood destroying organisms. That's
Mhm.
doesn't always mean termite. There's some
fungi.
Fungi. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Fungi.
Johnny C. He's a fun guy.
Yeah, he's
Totally.
a fun guy.
fungible
The
token.
funnest.
Fungible token. Fungi token. Wait, fungible token? Is that what it's called?
Fungible.
Non-fungible.
Fungible.
Yeah, nothing to do with fungus.
Nothing to do with fungus.
Yeah.
But okay, so like with what Jimmy's concerned about is what a lot of people are concerned about. You experience this way more than I do, so I want to just allay Jimmy's fears. I'm not worried about it. Jimmy's going to go do the repairs this weekend, right? He's going to get rid of it. Isn't like all over the house. There's a couple places where he's got to
Scrape it off.
scrape it off, put new paint on it,
Yeah.
fix the garage door, right? And he's done. They're going to come out. They're going to come and look at it. And I know everything's going to be okay. But what Jimmy's worried about, which is very common, Well, what happens if they come out and then they say, well, what about this and what about that? And they start asking for extra stuff than what they had originally. Does that happen a lot, Mike?
No.
Right.
So I would say, so the appraiser has come out the first time, made the home's value subject to these repairs. Those repairs sound like they are on the list of that I would expect, not on a conventional loan. Like big safety related items, I would expect on a conventional loan. So if you had a leaky roof, right? If you had broken windows, if you had exposed electrical wires, like outlets that were, the wires are just popping out. Those type of things I would expect on, holes in drywall, right? Potentially problems with any type of loan. With FHA and VA specifically, they look at a couple of things. There's a list of things that are a little bit, that you wouldn't get in conventional. Peeling paint is one of those. Wood rot is one of those. I've got actually a list of here. I better put peeling paint on my list, but you want to hear my list?
Yeah,
rotten wood on exterior fascia, door jambs, windows, and garages. I've sent you this list before, Jim, by the way. Evidence of previous termite infestation. No ability to cook and store food, so you have to have a microwave or range, refrigerator. Non-functioning major components, so things like your HVAC system, your water heater have to be functioning. Non-functioning installed appliances, so if the appliances are there, they got to be working. If you don't have smoke detectors, that could be a problem. Missing screens on windows or patios. So if you had like a screened-in porch, if you had holes in there, that's going to be a problem. And then your pool or pool equipment have to be in good repair, have to be functioning.
Right.
So those are kind of what you would see. So the appraiser is going to go out there and he's going to say, hey, your home's value is this, subject to these repairs. They're not going to go back out and say, oh, you know what, I missed this. I guess they could, but they're usually just making sure that you have repaired what they asked you for the first time. And if an appraiser started adding stuff, I would be on the phone with that appraiser in a second. And I would say, what are you doing? And they could always say, no, well, I saw this, right? Like that could happen, but I would not expect that.
Right. You wouldn't expect it.
I don't need
it. If you see something,
say something.
No.
Oh.
No. Nice. If you see something, maybe fix it.
Yeah.
If it's in the, like if you got your scraper and your paintbrush out and you see something that wasn't in the photo that they said, well, maybe you just scrape it and
well, don't go overboard. I know Jimothy, he'll be going overboard.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
he'll be like the whole thing. Yeah, the whole house is painted.
Here's my approach would be, if you were buying your home, what would you want it to look like?
Well, in this particular case.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh, man.
He's going to put 2 coats on a whole house.
He's going to paint it next weekend, too.
No, he's not going to do that. So with John and Katie, they had an FHA problem with their house, and they had to do some painting in the back of the house at the last minute and some wood rot, which wasn't a big deal. John just had the contractors go in there, knock it out, make sure it was done right away.
I think sometimes, like as the agent, if you spot some of this stuff early on, I think if you discuss with your buyer, like, hey, these things may come up on the appraisal, we're going to let it be and see what happens. But everyone's on the same page, like, oh no, I don't need you to fix that. We're gonna replace the garage door anyway, right? Or we're gonna replace the molding or the trim around this. And then you could even maybe try and preempt it, get out in front of your appraisal and say, hey, I'm just gonna fix this up so it looks okay to get through the appraisal. We all know that it's a potential thing that might need to be addressed. And maybe you've already negotiated, post inspection too. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that you see stuff like that. It's probably feels like, wait a second, are they like really cracking down on it or something?
The trick, because it was just so weird. I know it's probably just a coincidence that all this is just happening at one time, but here's the other thing though. What gets a little frustrating to the buyer and the seller is they don't realize sometimes that work has to be done in order to get the loan to close.
Yes.
So that work has to be done before you close. That's where the rub happens sometimes.
It's fine. I didn't know it was Jimothy's house. Maybe it was, or one of the other ones. But Nancy called me. She said, hey, Mike, is it normal? Like, we're supposed to close in a couple days. And now they're telling me, like, they told me we're clear to close. And now they're telling me we got some problems with the appraisal.
That was a different house.
And
no. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, wait.
I thought it was ours.
No, there was another one where we had no idea what was. Well, maybe it was 2, but there was one last week where this happened.
And she goes, "How can you be clear to close and have this?" And
oh no, it was.
She goes, Nancy goes, I don't look at the appraisal like that. Like, I don't know that. And I said, well, you shouldn't have to. Number one, the person who should be like notifying everyone is the loan originator or the loan team, right? We get the appraisal. I'm looking at it right away. What's the value? And is it as is, or is it subject to? Right? If I see subject to, I get on the horn to you guys right away. I say, hey, listen, or to the buyer's agent, these things need to be done right here. Now figure out who's going to do them, who's paying for them, who's doing them. We're going to do it before closing. Is this like, can we maybe do a escrow holdback, get them completed after closing? That's sometimes an option. But right away, I am making that call because that's a problem that needs to be. So the fact that you guys weren't even aware of it until you thought you're clear to close is crazy to me.
It was so bad. So what happened was, now that I'm remembering now, I apologize.
Sure,
okay,
no,
so the agent says the appraisal's done and everything's okay.
Yes.
We don't think about anything. Then what happens is we find out a couple days before closing that there's these repairs have to be made. And we're like, what are you talking about? So we talk to the agent has no idea. Then we talk to the mortgage person. Now the mortgage person was super nice when we first talked to him to get the loan, right? But now we have a problem. Doesn't want to deal with it. He's like, well, it's in the appraisal report. We don't have the appraisal report, right? Then when we get the appraisal report, it's 9 pages long or whatever it is. And you don't know where that language is, right? So Nancy calls back, can you show me in the report where it says what we need to do so we can figure out what's going on?
Right.
He couldn't help Nancy, right? He says, well, it's in the report. So then Nancy calls Mike, right? Try to get help. Mike knew right away. He's like, it's on page 3, right over
bottom
here,
of the page
blah,
2,
blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right. And Mike knew without even looking at the report where the language would be because he knows his job. Then I call up the mortgage company. He's like, we need to have better directions for the seller as to what the repairs are because we don't want to go back and forth. What exactly are they asking for? And the guy did have no idea, couldn't help us.
And you know what's crazy is because you're going to send repairs are done. You're going to send the appraiser back out. That's a buyer expense.
Yep.
Right. Unless they negotiate otherwise. And that's probably $100, $150. So every time the appraiser goes back out to the home, it's going to be $100, $150. So as the loan originator representing the buyer, doing that loan on the buy side of the transaction, don't you want to make sure it gets done right and it's complete? It's crazy. That scenario is crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So it was very frustrating. Luckily, it wasn't too many issues. Now, the other one we have was very serious issues. The windows weren't working properly. Most of them were window crank windows.
Yeah.
So the window cranks, those are usually pretty easy fixes, right? You go to Home Depot, you buy the window crank. They're like $25. There are 2 screws, 3 screws actually, and the whole thing's fixed, right?
Are they Phillips or flathead?
Well, actually,
Stars,
because I used to do this. Well, one's flathead, 2 Phillips.
Okay.
Okay, so I even do that. Okay, so because the inside's a flathead, right?
That's impressive.
But anyway, the bottom line is jerky. the bottom line is that we had sash windows in there because it's an older house. We had sash windows in there. They're not functioning. It looks like they've been painted shut and caulked shut for a long time. So
windows that don't open are a problem.
Yeah, they're a big problem. And this is the first time we've dealt with that in a long time. So we think we've got it resolved, but it took us like 5 days to go through the resolution.
Yeah.
But it wasn't optimal, but we're getting through it. So,
and that's a safety issue, right? If you don't have egress out of a room, like one of the reasons you have to have a window in a bedroom is so that you can get out if you can't get out through the door. Right. Or you can get in if you're, a teenage boy late at night.
Yeah. Exactly.
If we see, a lot of times people just leave a board up, a boarded window or a shutter up or something like that.
Yeah.
And if that shows up on a 4-point inspection, the insurance company will make you take another picture with that, either board off or the shutter off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same reason, like bars on windows are generally not allowed unless they can be opened
from the inside.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's from the inside or outside, but they have to be openable
from the outside base. very little sense.
Well, other than firefighters.
True. Yes.
So
I mean, both. So really, you need
Good
both.
call. Good call.
So Mike, and most of the time repairs for this FHA VA extra requirements don't usually have to be deal killers, right? I mean, most of the time it's like if it's rotted fascia or something, you just deal with it to get the deal closed, right?
Yeah. So the appraiser is tasked with assessing the value and then making sure it meets the condition requirements. So they're always going to make it subject to, like, if it has problems, they're not just going to say, okay, no, home's worth nothing, right? Can't do the deal. No, they're going to say, here's the value, but it's subject to these repairs that are required.
Yeah, the first time, my first home I bought was a foreclosure, and it didn't meet FHA financing because it was a wood frame home and there was rotted wood, rotted siding, and rotted trim around a couple windows.
Yeah.
Bank wouldn't do anything. This is like 94. Bank wouldn't do anything with it. It's like, too bad. And I wasn't going to get the loan. And so I went over there on the weekend when nobody knew. And I just ripped everything out and put it back.
Yeah.
And painted it without any, I wasn't supposed to do any of that. It wasn't my house. And I just went ahead and fixed it and then called the appraisal back and it was magically fixed.
What was your interest rate?
9.25 back then, 9.25.
Look how attractive
I had, and I looked
so attractive.
We might get into this today at the 10:30 mark, but I looked, and back then the average interest rate people were paying were like 8.15, and I was paying 9.25 because my credit was so bad.
Yeah,
right. It's the only thing I could get.
You're getting hosed.
I was paying a point more than everybody else. Is that crazy? Hey,
I mean, those rates are available today.
Yeah.
If you want a 9.
If you want a 9, we can get you 9.
Exactly.
All right, 9, no problem.
Sign me up.
So let's go ahead and take the break. On the flip side, we're going to roll right into insurance. We're going to talk about the word depopulation. Ross just told me some news about car insurance nobody's going to like.
Oh, car insurance?
Car insurance.
Don't start with that.
Yes, I
please.
know. I don't even want to say the words coming out of my mouth. And we're going to talk about Jimmy's shocking information that he just got recently on a bill for a house he doesn't even own yet.
We'll also know more about it.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. And just to make things a little happy, we're going to talk about haunted houses just to have something good to talk about.
We need
Scary
one.
good.
We need one after all these years.
Yeah,
right?
I know. And I'm so mad there's a house in Massachusetts. I'm so jealous. We're going to talk about that too.
We got good stuff to get into. And of course, you're welcome to be a part of it. Toll free at 877-927-6969. Questions, comments, concerns. You want to get involved with the conversation. Don't be shy. We got a 4-minute break. Jimothy will line you up. We'll get you right on the air. Obviously, you are always welcome. If you're not comfortable on the radio, I more than understand. Remember, Florida Talk Real Estate is a .com, your one-stop real estate shop. You get access to the entire team. These are pros, y'all. Florida Talk Real Estate.com on Facebook and YouTube as well. We live stream every Saturday. Thanks for being with us. Florida Talk Real Estate.com. Write it down. Know it, use it, love it, and share it. It's Florida Talk Real Estate.com. It is Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
Tell your smart device to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio. Go on. Tell it. Show that damn thing who's boss.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house? Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yes, Stevie Wonder, exactly. If you're on camera right now, you're seeing my best Stevie Wonder I can possibly ever put out. If you missed it, the good news is that it stays there on YouTube and Facebook. You can watch it again later. Go back and be like, let me see Johnny's Stevie Wonder. What time is it? 10:03. Mark it.
Can make a GIF out of it.
Enjoy it. Yeah, exactly. You should make a GIF out of it. GIF or GIF?
I say GIF.
I say GIF too.
I feel like Jim at some point has said it should be GIF.
It just doesn't make any
animated
sense.
GIF.
No, I think it's a GIF.
We're going GIF, right?
GIF.
All right.
GIF.
We're team GIF.
Yeah,
It goes back to the old, 1.21 gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts.
Right. And I think somebody at some point researched, and it should be gigawatt because the guy who invented it or named it or whatever called it a GIF.
GIF.
Yeah. So, but I'll call it a GIF.
All right, GIF it is.
Yeah.
Ross, are we team GIF or GIF?
It's a gift.
It's gift.
A GIF.
Gift.
Oh,
It's a gift. Anytime I see one, it's a gift.
so we call it. The
I
present.
like that.
We call it the present.
I like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have made gifts in the past of people. I've got one of you, as a matter of fact.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. In our old studio.
Cowboys.
Yes.
I could probably bring it up.
Well, you don't have to, but you could.
You have you're wearing a Cowboys shirt.
I am.
It says, "We are America."
We are star. Yeah.
Oh, we are star. And
Yeah.
then I switched it up so it says it's him doing like pointing out the shirt, and I said, "We are mierda." Right? It's for the Cowboys.
Are
right?
you allowed to say that? How come you're not
Oh.
peeping that?
Oh,
Because he
Are
doesn't
you
know.
peeping that?
He doesn't even know.
Yeah,
It's
is that
gone
a cuss
now.
word?
It's in Spanish.
In Spanish.
Then it
Can
gets
you
stumped.
say? Oh, okay. All right.
You can't say
Can you
cuss
Wow,
words in
that's-
any language.
That's 2 dumps in the last 2 months. We haven't had a dump in years. So
Switch
we've
it
had
up.
2 because I did a dump a couple months ago. Remember?
It happens.
This one won't be a cuss word. I said, "We are miércoles." We are Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
We are Wednesdays.
but you get the idea. Sorry about that, Jimmy.
That's all right. No problem. That's why we have a delay.
Did
so
you
we
dump
can
it?
do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
Way to
messed up
ruin
the whole
way to ruin
broadcast.
everything. Mike.
Right.
Just ruined the whole show.
All right, start over. What were you doing, Stevie Wonder?
Stevie Wonder. It was 10:03 mark on the Facebook.
Hold
page.
on. Now we're going to start the segment over.
Disregard everything that just happened.
Take everything out.
Johnny C, that's me. Ross Komarinetz is with us, y'all. We got the best of the best always. And of course, Ross is the best of the best. It's Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. Do you know it? Ross, how are you?
Juno, that's right. Not that. Juno Beach.
You're gonna dump that.
Juno.
Yeah.
Dump it. Mike Rauch, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Hello.
Hi. Good morning.
And Jimmy D's here. That's Jim DePola. Told you for 11 plus years now, he runs a top producing Keller Williams team, Keller Williams Innovations. You'll find the Florida Home Pros team. And Jimmy D, how you be?
Hey guys, we're gonna roll right into some pretty scary stuff, and no, not the haunted house stuff. We're
good.
going to be talking about insurance first.
Yeah,
So
my favorite.
I want to start off with, we have 3 or 4, Mike is showing the gifts right now if you're looking on the video. We want to start off with Jimothy's home purchase. So Jimothy's buying a new construction home. And one of the things we've always said about new construction, one of the big benefits of it is that
super low.
You don't have to worry about homeowners insurance premiums because they're super, super low compared to resale.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of it, you probably won't have to worry about it for a while because your roof's going to last a long time. Your AC, and deferred maintenance, you have a long time before you have to really worry about much of that stuff, the big ticket items. So a couple months ago when Jimmy signed up, he said that how happy he was with this insurance premium policy because it was like 1/3 of what you would probably get for a resale house that size.
I mean, our premier level of coverage, I think, was like $1,800.
Right.
It was 1,800, 1,800, 1,200 was the budget, and
Okay.
again about 1/3 or so, and that's part of knowing your numbers, right? Something that you guys preach all the time. So one of the big things, obviously, the home purchase itself, taxes, and homeowners insurance. Those are the 3 big things that make up your monthly payment. So in order to figure out what that monthly payment is, that's what we were trying to figure out. Ross got me an estimate back then, on what it would be. And so we knew, and that we could use that to formulate what our numbers would be. And then 2.5 months later, I asked him to, do it again, get fresh because I figured that those numbers might change a little bit. And I didn't realize that it would go up $700 for both.
Had you added a bunch of square footage or changed your model? Or
I don't. Did we, Ross? I mean, off the top of your head, I don't think so. I mean, I don't.
No, we
know
quoted the same address.
Same
Everything's
thing, right?
Everything's
Yeah.
exactly the same.
So let me do some quick math.
Now,
first.
I am curious on one thing though. Like 2.5 months ago when I did it, I mean, the house didn't exist. So how do you do that as far as how do you get a quote on something that doesn't even exist?
So we can see because you're buying in a community that's being built.
Right.
Right. So there's models.
Okay.
Like we
right,
go
the model.
online
got the
and
model
you
from
tell me what it
building.
is,
Okay.
and then we look it up and we
Okay.
can see the square footage and all
Okay,
that stuff.
perfect. There, and simple answer to that question.
So that was a 38% increase from the first quote to the second quote. 38%.
So it went up on both the both options,
Mm-hmm.
Ross, like the
Yeah,
premier
so-
and the budget.
So we originally sent him a quote with one company.
Mhm.
And that company went from 18 to like 29, and we sent a different company that was like 28 or 27 on the premier. So went up pretty high.
So that's even with new construction.
And in just a matter of a couple of months,
Mhm.
with we haven't had a storm. I'm like trying to think of an event that maybe altered the path for any of these companies, any of these quotes, and altering the path is just the market over the last couple of months.
Don't they? Am I wrong? Maybe it doesn't work this way anymore. Don't they have to set their premiums and they do it once a year or something like that?
No,
Ross?
they just have to file their rates with the state and get them approved with the state.
Anytime during the year?
Anytime during the year.
Oh, I thought it was a one-time
No.
thing too,
Mm.
once a year kind of thing.
No, because we've seen,
Wow.
increases at the beginning of the summer, then coming in the fall, that same company may have an increase. Or
Is Jimmy's situation does he still have options? Could he go to Citizens if he needed to, or because he has other options, you can't even do a Citizens policy?
I mean, technically, we could go to Citizens if Citizens would have been. I don't remember what the Citizens quote was. I can look it up, but if it was within, we probably say $400. We're typically not going to send the Citizens quote just because Citizens only comes with $100,000 for liability. If you wanted to buy another $200,000 liability supplemental policy to get you to that normal $300,000 level that comes on most policies, that's an additional $392 per year.
So whatever savings.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
right
So if
there,
it's within $400, unless we know somebody is, hey, we need something cheap, we need to qualify for something, then we'll usually try and go that route.
So that gets me to the next thing, Ross, is the Citizens trying to slough off customers to try to get things under control. When we were talking a couple of years ago, there were like 500,000 people in the program, right? In Citizens Insurance. Right now it's over 1.2 million policyholders in the state. And we're on the hook for it if we can't afford it, all of us as residents. There's stages that it goes through, but ultimately we're on the hook. So it isn't free. It's just risky. We're just putting on more risk. So
it's
Ross,
still a surprisingly low number for me, because I feel like I see Citizens all the time now, Ross, and you're writing 90 something percent with them, right? But there's still a small percentage of the total policies issued in Florida.
Yeah,
for new business.
Yeah, but so how is Citizens? Could you explain the I'm calling it depopulation, but could you explain how Citizens is actively trying to get people off their rolls? Like, how is that working?
So
the process.
So Citizens was originally created to be the insurer of last resort, and typically their rates were always high, and you only had to go with Citizens unless you absolutely had to for some reason, which was rare. We didn't have a lot of Citizens policies up until a few years ago. But with litigation and everything that's been going on in the insurance market, all of the other carriers have either gone out of business or experienced significant rate increases over the past 3-4 years, very significant rate increases, and they've really tightened their guidelines and or stopped writing business altogether. And Citizens, on the other hand, is capped by how much they can increase their rates every year, and they've never stopped offering new business. And they've only recently just updated their guidelines, in the last year, updated their guidelines to require at least 5 years of life left on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So with all those carriers having those super significant rate increases and or not writing coverage, Citizens is either significantly cheaper or the only company that's available. So they've taken on so many policies. And in an effort to get rid of them, and it sounds terrible, not get rid of them, but lighten their load,
Mm-hmm.
reduce their risk exposure, they allow private companies to come in and basically cherry pick their book of business. And if that company makes an offer that's, hey, we would take that one for $5,000 per year. That's what we expect the renewal to be next year. It's not going to have the takeout program. First of all, is your policy, nothing's changing right now. The premium change will be at your renewal date, which is usually is at least a year in advance or close to a year in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say they say, okay, hey, we think it'll be $5,000. Because they made an offer from a private carrier's made an offer, you get a letter in the mail, your policy, hey, you've received there's two different ones. You've received a private offer from another company. Here's what the expected renewal premium is. It's $5,000. Citizens' expected renewal premium is $3,000. What do you want to do? And so as a policyholder at that point, because the private market offer is 20% higher than the Citizens' expected renewal, you have an option to stay with Citizens or go with the other one. But you have to make a decision. If you don't do anything and you're just sticking your head in the sand and not paying attention to your mail, or we're calling people, emails are going out. So if you're not paying attention to all that, Citizens will automatically move you to the 5,000. They don't want you, so it's not they don't want you, but
Right,
they're
right. They're
reducing the risk
reducing the risk.
exposure, so they're automatically going to move you off if you're not
Mhm.
paying attention.
Mhm.
You have to register your choice. Either tell me and I'll make it for you, or you can go online and register your choice. So that's one thing. The other one is, hey, the carrier's made an offer and it's within 20%, so you're automatically going to be moved. Now, sometimes, that renewal offer is higher than the Citizens expected renewal offer, but oftentimes I've seen that offer be lower than the Citizens renewal offer. So their premiums are actually going down. So,
So they made him an offer they couldn't refuse.
correct. Yeah, that's basically what happened.
Well, actually,
yeah.
isn't that a
Citizens is the
positive
godfather.
thing? Wouldn't that
Can
be
we
a positive thing if you're getting? I'm sorry, John.
No. Please finish your
But
thought.
I'm losing on that last part. Thank you for all that information. But if they're coming to you and saying that the policy from the private firm is lower than the Citizens,
That is positive, but
then
that's not
that work.
newsworthy.
I
Do you know
see,
what I mean?
but
That's not that doesn't get written up in the news.
But that's happening sometimes.
Oh,
You're seeing
absolutely.
that?
More
Yeah,
predominantly.
Yeah. I see it. I see it a
happened
lot.
to me.
Where it's actually cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cheaper.
Mhm.
Cheaper
Oh
than
wow! I
staying
didn't
with
have
it.
any
Yeah.
idea that's
Yeah. I
I
happening.
think
That's awesome.
predominantly that's the case. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen a handful of where they have to move.
Hmm.
Citizens has typically been on the cheaper side, but when they do have to move, I've seen Citizens be cheaper by a few $100s.
And you're not
Or, I
going
mean,
to get
excuse me,
that.
the
new
private
carrier.
carrier
Private
offer
carrier cheaper.
I think
cheaper.
mine was $400
Yeah.
difference. But let me combine Jimmy's scenario with what you're saying right now. So in Jimmy's real world scenario, new construction, he had a quote a couple months ago, and as we're getting close to closing things up here, where are we looking? It changed by $700. New construction, like nothing changed. So you get this. We'll just say company A. You slide over. The plan is your renewal is going to be $500 less than what you were paying with Citizens. Are you locked in on that?
For the year. Yeah.
But your renewal doesn't happen
Right.
until the next year. So that number they're giving you, that's happening.
Yes.
That's all. It's not like Jimmy where like,
Right,
by the
yeah.
way, we get to the year. It actually changed. Sorry.
Oh,
it's
good question.
$800 more than we were expecting.
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be.
Supposed to be locked.
Yeah,
Like
yes.
that's okay.
But you're not
Yeah.
getting that letter until you're approaching your renewal.
No,
date,
you're
right?
getting
No,
these
year
letters are
advance.
going out right now for
Oh,
renewals that are
yeah.
happening in August.
So mine
know.
mine happened a couple months ago. I got swapped over to I think it was Monarch. Does
Okay.
that sound right?
Mhm.
Is that a company?
Yep. Mhm.
And all claims now will go through Monarch.
Right. So you
Citizen still holds my policy until my renewal. So nothing changes. I don't know when nothing comes out of escrow. Like there's no money changing anywhere. Everything, my policy is still through Citizens. If I make a claim, it's through Monarch right now until my renewal. My renewal will then go through Monarch. My escrow will all take care of that. So it's all like it's just done. They're like, all right, Citizens will hold you. You claim through Monarch now, and we'll reset at your renewal date with Monarch at this value. Theoretically locked in.
That must mean that Monarch already has your policy.
They said
essentially.
we'll take your policy.
They assume it. It's called the assumption letter.
How can I ask this just on Johnny's question? So if that renewal letter is going out way in advance, how could you avoid Jimmy's scenario where they're like, oh, wait a second, we've repriced now. We've repriced as we approach your renewal.
I guess it's kind of like a rate lock.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what
what
I
I'm
mean?
saying. I'm locked in.
Might be like a rate lock. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because if things hit the fan, how can Monarch be like, still comfortable? Like it just seems like there's a chance where we finally get to the renewal and they're like, oh, actually,
or
then we go back to Citizens
or the next year's renewal.
Yeah.
Well,
the old get them in and then raise up the rates the next year.
Anybody who gets the letter, you're like,
Yeah,
sure, it's less. I'll do that. And
Yeah.
like Ross says, there a lot of these letters it's happening. You have to make a decision. And some of them's like, if you don't make a decision, we're just going to do it for you.
I mean,
so
and
that's
it's significant, like sometimes double,
So-
like the
Right.
private market
Yeah,
offer.
open
But
your-
because
open your mail.
an offer was made, they're going to disclose it.
Right.
So that's why you're getting the letter.
Let's just say that you're in that situation. You stick your head in the hole. You ignore all the phone calls from Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach office, because that's what they do. They know they call you and you ignore it. And then all of a sudden you see that your insurance premiums doubled. But then when you look into it. It's like you could have rejected it if you wanted to, but you didn't.
Well, here's when you'll know,
So-
when all of a sudden your escrow is
Well,
going
right,
through the
but
roof.
what
You're like,
I'm-
why is my mortgage payment
But
going up
what
by
I'm
that
wondering
much?
is, can you go back and say, hey, I didn't mean to do that. I want to go back to Citizens, or do Citizens say, no, we gave you your chance. You're stuck with them now.
I believe you can go. I mean, if it's within 20%, yes, you can go back to Citizens.
Got to be within the 20%.
Yeah, it's got to be that.
though.
You got to be able to qualify. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, over 20%, right? So if
Yeah,
Citizens
yeah.
is, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
more than
yeah,
20%
more than
less, yeah.
20%. Okay, so you could go back, and it's like too late. You lost your opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, the great thing is
Okay.
again, you open that mail, you have the chance to be like, nah, I'm gonna stick with Citizens. Thanks.
Open
And you
the
could
mail.
even, you could even call Ross and be like, hey, Ross, can you make that option for me?
Yep.
I mean, Ross would prefer you to do it, I'm sure, but he's there for you.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'll tell you what,
Exactly.
as a consumer, it would be infuriating that the default option is in the carrier's favor and not in the consumer's favor. Like the default.
Citizens isn't supposed to be the
Last
insurer of first resort. They were supposed to be the last resort. And it's not like it's sneaking up on them. They're receiving a letter in the mail. They're getting an email from Citizens, and I know voicemails are being left and people are calling.
Now, let me just, because there's two other parts of the insurance industry I want to talk about. The next part is Progressive. Okay, so Progressive made an announcement.
Can
Oh,
I just piggyback real
sure,
quick
I'm
before you
sorry.
shift
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of this? Because I think there's another really important aspect, and Ross can probably touch on this a little more. I know in some scenarios, Ross, with this, what are we calling it? What do you call depopulation?
Depopulation,
What's
yeah.
the other word? The A word?
Assume.
Assuming.
The assumption letter.
There is some scenarios, and I think it's a lot of them, where they require like an additional inspection for that swapping out, right? I think I avoided it somehow, some way, but I was on the cusp of them saying we're gonna have to send out an inspector to make sure everything on your wind mitigation and everything is top notch before we port you over to this new policy.
I didn't
Is
see that.
nothing
Why
like
is the
that?
car
Yeah.
still in your house, Johnny? I'm just thinking about that with
Right?
your.
But it never came to fruition for me. But they were like,
Could be carrier specific.
and I remember hearing like, make sure you give them access because they'll try to call you a couple times. Citizens being they.
Oh yeah.
And
Citizens
if
is
you-
doing re-inspections. Yes. Citizens doing all the re-inspections.
Even in that assessment, though, they were like, hey, you're going to go to Monarch and you're going to get this this new re-inspection. And if you get a couple phone calls and you don't respond or give them access to your home,
It's
quote
gonna
unquote,
adjust your rate.
well, no, I heard just flat drop you.
Oh, okay.
Any validity to that?
I mean, I haven't. That hasn't been approached to me.
Good. Good. There's a lot of bad information out there.
Yeah,
Ross.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Progressive is dropping 100,000 homeowners insurance policies in the state, right? So they're in the process of doing that, and you have these new companies coming in, and then you have these more established companies that
Well,
seem
I
to
wouldn't
be
say Progressive is a more established homeowners company
okay.
because what they did is they actually purchased a regional company called American Strategic,
Mm-hmm.
ASI, probably, I don't know, 10 years ago, something like that. And so they're not, those wasn't really Progressive insurance paper, it wasn't their paper per se, because they just bought a regional company so they could offer homeowners insurance in Florida.
And to give us those commercials, never ending.
So when these people get a notice that they're being canceled by Progressive,
Depopulated.
what should, obviously the first thing you should do is call you, but what will be the process after that? Hey, Ross, I have Progressive. They just dumped me. Or they're dumping me. They're giving me a notice I'm being dumped. Then what's the next step?
First of all, the notice has to go at least 120 days in advance.
Okay.
So you're going to have some time. You want to get a quote, and obviously, if that quote's more expensive than what you're paying now, you probably want to stick it out until your renewal. If you can find something that's cheaper now, switch now. You can switch anytime. You get a prorated refund of the unused portion of the premium. So, it could be advantageous for you to switch now because they had some rate increases too. We rewrote a lot of the policies that we had with them because of rate increases, but it's a tough market out there.
So even though you're being dumped, don't take it personal. Just call your professional who can lead you in the right direction. Yeah,
they're just not into you.
It's me. It's not you. It's me.
I think it's true though, Johnny. It is them. It's not me.
So
that's true though. It feels like because it's just like it's your policy, it's your house. It really isn't personal. Like they're just across the board. They're getting rid of it. Like they're switching teams, right? They're going the other way.
Well, they're not looking at your name or anything like that. It's property characteristics. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just,
age, location, roof age,
numbers.
But now we're getting. It isn't just homeowners insurance policy. You're seeing the trend is going to spilling to other types of insurance. And so tell me what you think's going on with the car insurance right now. And is this local or is this national?
I mean, really, it's both. The underwriting for auto insurance has gotten significantly tougher. A lot of the carriers, it used to be if you were paying monthly, and it was automatically being charged to your credit card or coming out of your checking account, you only had to put 1 month down. Now I'm seeing a lot of the times, well, hey, you got to put 40% down now, and then we'll amortize the rest of the payments over the remaining months. But probably 10 years ago, the carriers really wanted the higher limit policies because people with higher limits used to be an attractive segment of the population for auto insurance. However, attorneys get involved. I think we've talked about the attorneys and assignment of benefits with windshield claims. But what's happening is now, attorneys are targeting people that have gotten into accidents that have higher limits. So if I bump into you, and I only have low limits on my auto insurance, you hire an attorney and they're probably not going to go after me because I've got very low limits. So, your neck is probably okay. Your soft tissue damage is probably fine. But if they find out I've got 250, 500 for my bodily injury liability limits, man, your neck's starting to hurt a little bit more, And so the attorneys are starting to go after the 250, 500 higher limit policies. And so right now, a lot of those carriers that wrote those policies 10 years ago, they want to pause new business right now. They're really trying to reduce the amount of policies that they're writing in general across the board, not even just high limits, because they need to, get their situation under control. So they want to pause new business. And, all that we're seeing, pretty high rate increases in the auto right now too.
When you're saying trying to get while they're waiting to try to get things under control or whatever, correct the situation, why would not writing new policies help them instead of just saying we're not taking the 250, 500 policies? If you want to do 10, 50
right,
where you're a customer and take those right now instead of just cutting everybody off.
They're really wanting to reduce their exposure, and it's not that the companies are really cutting down on, I think Travelers suspended 70% of their agents from writing new auto policies.
Wow.
In Florida
or
nationally?
In Florida.
Yeah, that's
70% of their agents for writing new business policies because they just don't want to take on, just like the homeowners insurance. They don't want to take on risk.
Remember these they're all national players, much more so than the homeowners. So they're not. So they're like, okay, so we make money in these segments, we lose money in these segments. Let's cut off. Let's stop the bleeding in the segments we lose money.
And it's not it's not just a Florida thing. I'm part of a couple national insurance related Facebook groups, and it's all over. It's all over the country.
Yeah, I was going to say the litigation argument. It's very similar to what we have heard through the years as one of the big problems with homeowners insurance in Florida. And I'm wondering if that's a real issue that's Florida specific versus.
I think that's more Florida. Well,
Like maybe they're leveraging the homeowners, which I think they've made a convincing case that's been a major problem in Florida with homeowners. Is it the same? Is it really the same issue with car insurance?
I would say it probably is, because I think Florida was unique in how, you could sue the homeowners insurance company. The auto insurance is different because it's a liability thing as opposed to a property damage thing. So with property damage, you can say, oh, $50,000 of property was damaged. Okay, here's $50,000.
Right.
But with liability, man, my neck hurts, man.
How much is that worth?
And my neck is probably going to hurt for the next 20 years.
Just pay attention just for your next couple days driving around. Look at the billboards.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yes.
Like half of them are. Dewey Cheatham and Howe got me $1 million for my fender bender.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've become a very litigious society.
And whatever's happening in the rest of the country, it's Florida, baby. You know what I mean? It's like it's always going to be more magnified
you should
here.
be made right? But you shouldn't get rich. You got to be made whole, but not your lifestyle shouldn't change.
I think we all know that there's that one that is the largest injury law firm in the nation, right? And they originate out of Florida, right?
Tampa.
Yeah. So
I heard that's not a national firm.
They're the largest in the universe.
The universe.
The galaxy.
I know, but I know his next door neighbor. They're not a national firm, apparently.
Huh.
Just a Florida firm.
You're saying their advertising may be a little bit misleading?
Maybe they're the largest.
They're everywhere.
Because it's just like you can refer to a real estate agent in Wisconsin.
I know.
So probably something like that.
Yeah, maybe it's like that.
We're guessing. I mean, I don't know. And we don't know. We don't know exactly who we're talking about.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're talking about. We all talk about different people right now.
Right. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny. Putting it out right then, right?
Ross is like if you're shopping is shopping auto insurance something you can do kind of at any moment? Like you can same way we would say, hey Ross, I need some help with homeowner. Same thing with auto.
Same thing with auto. Yeah, you can shop at any time, switch anytime, prorated refund. However, with that being said, a lot of your new premium is going to be, there's a ton of factors that go into an auto insurance premium, but one of the things is how long you've been with your current carrier. So if you're somebody that shops every 6 months, you probably aren't really going to find too much savings. You might find $5 or something, where wouldn't if
every dollar counts, Jimmy.
Yeah, but so it's just the whole insurance industry is just tough right now.
It's just really tough. We've been saying, on the show, we've been talking about insurance for quite a long time. We've talked about ways to save tons and tons of money with gap insurance and all that stuff back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
We've helped people with understanding hurricane forbearance when that came in and understanding that. And also, remember, we went down to the Keys after I always forget that one. Is it Irma? Yeah, I always get. And what's the one that Irma's down there, but what's the one that happened on the West Coast?
Ian.
That's why I get confused because the eyes that always screws me up. So, but anyway, when Irma was down there, I don't know if everybody remember, but we went down there. We helped that woman who she was getting burned by insurance churning. Was it a flood or was it a hurricane that damaged her house? And Paul got that resolved for Paul, law office of Paulie Krasker. Which maybe we should talk. Let's go ahead and take I know this isn't a great radio right here, but we're going to take a break right now. We're going to flip and we're going to talk about something, Mike, on the flip side, which is student loan, because you watched that presidential speech about student loan program.
I felt like Biden was sitting in the room with us.
I know. I felt like Biden had watched Florida Talk Real Estate for a long time. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and what's going on with the student loan, because that's going to affect a lot of people and it's going to affect the economy. Without a doubt, this is going to be another drag on the economy. Everybody paying this bill. And we're going to talk about Halloween and how I still don't have my haunted house, but there's one in in Massachusetts that I'm jealous about.
Well, let's go sell it.
Yeah. It's only $750,000.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So buy it first and then you can sell it.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom.
There you go.
All right, so we got a bunch to get into. Limited time, but we're going to cram it all in. I assure you. Always remember, you have access to the entire team, the pros that is the Florida Talk Real Estate team. It's a .com. Know it, use it, love it, and share it. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. On Facebook and YouTube, find Florida Talk Real Estate as well. But that .com is your access to the entire team, and it is a wonderful resource. Buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home and don't know what to do, and everything you can think of that touches the world of real estate, remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Back in 4 minutes. Great to have you with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate right here, Real Radio.
The bad news, the brain isn't all that great at hearing stuff and remembering it. The good news, you can watch us too. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Radio 92.1. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
From the Gordon and Partners Weather Center. Have you or a loved one been injured through no fault of your own? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Collins with CBS 12 News. Mostly sunny this afternoon with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. A few isolated showers and thunderstorms are possible through the early evening, then warm again tonight with lows in the 70s Sunday morning. Not as warm on Sunday with highs in the mid 80s, a few more clouds and an isolated shower chance.
This report is sponsored by InvisibleFence.com. Invisible Fence brand is more than a fence. They offer what no other pet containment company can. Patented technology combined with hands-on training to ensure protection for the pet you love while allowing them to enjoy more of their yard. Visit InvisibleFence.com today to learn more about what sets them apart.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because FloridaTalkRealEstate.com has you covered. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, 877-927-6969. It is a short amount of time remaining for us on a Saturday, but you're welcome to use it. Questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate, we'll get you right on the air. That's right, you'll be on the radio with Florida Talk Real Estate. Jimothy will line you up if you dial that up. Hello, Jimothy.
Hello and good morning.
Good morning. I'm your boy, Johnny C. Ross Komarinetz is with us. Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach is where you'll find him regularly. And, of course, on a Saturday morning here with us, Florida Talk Real Estate. Hello, Ross.
Hello, hello.
Mike Rauch is the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. And, of course, you can hear him on Saturdays with us typically. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. You can also hear me on my cell phone if you want to talk.
Oh, beautiful.
I don't give it out on the air, but
we'll do that.
You know how to get it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were going to do that or not. And, of course, Jimmy D is here. Told you for 11 plus years now, he runs a top producing Keller Williams team. Keller Williams Innovations, you find the Florida Home Pros team. And Jimmy D. Jim DePola, how you be?
Hey, good.
Jim's
I think
like a ghost.
I think we lost our. It doesn't matter because I think we lost our feed somehow.
What feed?
We're frozen on internet. No big deal.
We're all here except for you.
Oh, I can't see it. Maybe it's just me because
you.
Oh, it's just
you can see people sitting in the chairs.
Yeah, I
everything?
see myself. I'm waving
wow.
to
I can't
the
see
audience.
anything.
Yeah, everybody but you.
Oh,
You
okay,
are
so
a
no
ghost
big
right
deal.
now.
Yeah.
You're talking, but your chair is there, but
Yeah.
you're not there.
That's
Vampire.
weird.
For real?
Yeah.
Are you joking?
No.
Yeah, it's just an empty chair.
You
I swear
guys
to
are
God.
joking.
No.
Yeah, no, it's for real. I see
Swear to God.
it right now. It's a shame, too, because nobody gets to see that awesome shirt.
know,
I think
and
he thinks we're
know
messing
you're
with him.
missing out.
Can you turn and look at Jimothy's monitor?
I
I
like.
know he's gone.
Oh, now
you're gone.
Cam just put you
It's
out.
gone.
See, I
Yeah, you're back.
like my Magnum PI shirt. Leave me alone. This
No,
is
no,
my Tom
No problem,
Selleck shirt.
Liberace.
I think it's fantastic.
Somebody's got to change shirts. I was looking at every video. I wear I wear this shirt. I wear the same shirt just because I like the routine. Like I don't have to think about it.
Continuities. I'm in the
You
same
and Steve
hat.
Jobs.
Yeah.
Continuity's beautiful.
It's almost like you remember when
That Theranos lady.
like school uniforms. We had school uniforms here in elementary school for my kids. When I was a kid, we didn't have that, and I was like, with my kids, you didn't have to worry about what you were wearing. I was like, why wouldn't you want that? I get like everyone wants to be individual, all that stuff, but as a parent, it was so easy. Like you would go school shopping, you're like, are we getting these white shirts, these
Get five of
khakis,
those. We're
these
getting
this?
5 of those.
Yeah,
and 5
yeah,
of those.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
easy. Makes so much sense.
Oh, totally. And then there's no none of that. What you wear that brand and this. You all wearing the same.
Yeah, I mean that part of it, I never thought too much about it because like the bullying or whatever. I'm just like, no, make it as easy as possible on the parents to get these kids ready for school.
Well,
get them off to school.
you should think about the bullying. Do you see what Jim's wearing?
Oh, we bullied you guys. All bullied Jim today, not me. Not me.
I don't care. You guys have no fences.
Your camera doesn't even like your shirt.
Well, my internet is completely broken, so all the articles I pulled up are now gone.
That's okay. I know what you were going to talk about.
Okay, so first we were going to talk about
jams.
A house in Massachusetts. What city? I have no idea because I'm not on the internet anymore. But
probably Salem.
they're selling a house. It made national news. I'm so jealous about this. Made national news because they're selling a house and they're advertising it, and they're advertising the house as quote probably haunted.
Probably.
Yeah,
769.
unquote probably haunted.
Do you see Cam's comments on the private chat?
No, I can't because I have no internet.
Jim is missing. We were just
I
talking
have
about
no internet.
ghosts.
This is I know.
spooky.
Exactly.
Shout out to Cam. Nice.
I want to shut it down, but I think I'm the main person controlling all that stuff. So if I shut my computer down, I think I'm going to lose everything. So anyway, the house is probably haunted. Now, why is this house probably haunted? Because it was a funeral home for 100 years, right? This house. So remember that that HBO show, 6 Feet Under?
Yeah, great show.
So they had the house, and then they had all the dead people in there because of the funeral home.
Why would that? I don't get that though, because maybe I don't understand exactly how hauntings happen, Johnny. But don't you haunt the place where you died? Not the place you were delivered to after you died.
Have you ever seen Poltergeist?
Yeah, I think so.
So they built
on top.
They built those properties on top of a burial ground.
Oh, so this home was built on top of a burial ground.
No, I don't
it was
think
just
so.
a
they were
funeral
just
home.
stored
No,
there.
just a
They just
funeral home.
stored the dead bodies there. So
So
I think
Like
you would just have it.
how many ghosts would be like walking around, hospitals and
16,
stuff, right? Like,
Yeah. Well,
Pretty specific number there.
well, maybe something traumatic happened at the funeral home, so they stayed. Who knows? That could
one of
happen
those
too.
types
Yep,
of
maybe
funeral
that could happen. But the house, they're asking like $750,000 for it. I don't have any details because I don't have the computer anymore.
What do you want now?
But
They did have this house listed not long ago for considerably less money.
Did they?
Yeah.
And they moved.
Or maybe I read about this week. Maybe they bought it not long ago for considerably less. And
And now they're trying to sell as a haunted house. See, the guy's a genius.
Well,
That's what I want to
and
do. That's
big
exactly
fat
what I want to
equity
do.
on it. It's a big property. That's not a small.
5,100 square
it kind of,
feet.
it actually kind of looks like a 6 feet under house. It has the wraparound porch, if I'm not mistaken, the old wood structure homes, and it's kind of cool. I want to sell a open haunted house here in South Florida, people. I've been asking since when? 2015.
Long time.
I went back and looked. I've been asking you guys for 8 years. Give me a haunted house to sell. I promise I'll give you a great deal on selling that house.
You may have sold houses that were haunted. You just didn't know.
Right. I want to advertise a haunted house to sell to prove I could sell haunted houses. So please give me a call. I have an idea for a TV show. If you got a haunted house, but it's got to be legit. Remember our rules back then? That's right. You got to show me some kind of history of why you think the house is haunted and
I
stuff
may
like
have
that.
bought a haunted house. Have I told that story before about there was
one in Virginia?
No, the house I live in right now.
Oh no, I thought it was the one in Virginia.
Mike's been sitting on this since 2015. He won't let you sell his house.
I've never told that story where we got the house. One of the things I did initially was to swap out the panel. The electrical panel went from 150 amp service to 200, and so you have to pull a permit to do that. And the guy who came out, the inspector, was looking at us at the time, and he's like, "Oh, this house, I know this house. Like, isn't this the house where this thing happened out in the driveway here? Somebody had gotten killed, right?" And I was like, "What?" And of course, Natalie, was she's like spiritual, that type of stuff. At the time, I was like, "You just said the worst thing you could say, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thanks for
ruining
everything.
Our home purchase, right? Like home sweet home." Wow.
Well, when you say it's haunted, you didn't see anything or feel anything, right? Did you?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. So it wasn't.
No, I'm saying it could be though.
Yeah.
If you looked at it through a certain lens, if you were in tune with that stuff, like I'm just not attuned to it, Johnny. I probably am a skeptic on that stuff simply because I'm not wired. I don't pick up the vibrations.
Well, so anything that would happen, you're fluffing off as coincidence or as some other.
Yeah, like
aspect
to me, it's like there's probably 10 other more likely explanations than supernatural.
So I remember a couple of times my house, I don't want to say it's haunted, but we've had haunting type aspects.
Yeah.
When we put DOG down, my dog, my last dog that we had to put down, for about 2 or 3 weeks after we put her down, and we put her down in our living room. We had a great vet. It would come, and it was beautiful.
Oh, I was going to say.
For about 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, so she could lay there. No
I
trauma.
Like that. I like it.
For about 2 or 3 weeks after we put her down, you could hear her walking around on our wood floor.
Yeah, the clicking on the
undeniable
the
sound
nails.
of dogs'
The
nails on the wood floor. And I would turn to my wife and be like, "Do you hear Doge?" And she'd be like, "Yeah." Because I just want to make sure I'm not crazy, right? I know I'm crazy, but like you hear that too, right? She's like, "Oh yeah." For about 3 weeks after, you could hear the dog walking around the house.
So my practical mind
is that
saying,
haunted?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's beautiful. Made us feel amazing.
Absolutely.
But is it haunted?
I mean, I'm saying like for me, it's like, well, how do ghosts interact with the physical world to make sound?
Right. Wow. That's right. How?
Right.
How?
That's because think about how sound is generated. So how does a ghost generate sound?
Exactly.
Right. If they're making spooky noises, like they don't have vocal cords anymore, right?
Wait, who says boo?
Right.
Right.
Yes.
If they don't have vocal cords.
Mike just
this is the way my brain
obliterated
works.
the whole theory behind ghosts.
So I didn't even hear that. That's what I did. I wanted to hear the nails on the floor.
Have you heard of the Santa Claus thing? You gonna ruin
my
that
poor
too?
kids. My poor kids. I'm sorry, kids. I'm sorry.
You're like, how could he deliver presents to every?
What if I don't have a fireplace?
So please, somebody get me a haunted house, please. I'm getting old.
We're gonna sell mine one day. Before long,
maybe
it might be haunted.
Yeah,
right?
Probably.
Yeah, I think Jim, you have been looking at it wrong.
Probably.
you should just assume that every house is haunted. And then you've sold like thousands.
Yeah,
of
but
them.
see, you got to get the sellers to agree that you're going to market their houses.
I'll totally agree right now on the
told me
radio.
that 2 months ago.
My wife heard the nails.
I have so many great ideas for marketing for the haunted house. So if anybody got a really cool house they want to sell, and great Aunt Jemima used to live there or whatever, I don't care, whoever they are, you got to let me.
Well, so potentially haunted and newly resurfaced pool, right? I have like almost half a new fence.
And apparently it needs pancake syrup.
Yes.
You can't have a complete fence. Haunted houses have to have some level of degradation or dilapidation.
Well, we only got a little bit of time left. Let's switch over to student loan because this can help a lot of people, right? So this show is always about trying to help people. So student loan is before we went through COVID, we used to talk about student loan being the biggest drag on the economy at that point because of the massive student loan debt. Now we have more student loan debt than ever because people have been paying for 3 years. And, the president and Congress have been trying to do all this stuff to fix student loan, and nobody could agree on anything because that's the way we voted everybody into. So government sucks. So in general, the bottom line is that we really haven't fixed anything. And what have we been saying the whole time as we've been watching this in the newspapers and reading it in the news? We've been saying, what the heck are you waiting for any of that stuff for? Just use the programs that we've been using for 9 years on this show, helping hundreds and hundreds of people with their student loan debt. And then Mike sends an email out or a text out to us a couple of days ago. I was running around like a nut. And Mike, what did you see on TV? Because I missed that press conference.
Yeah, President Biden was doing a press conference talking about student loans, and they had passed something that canceled $9 billion of student loan debt. And but more importantly for me, like what caught my attention, he was talking about everything that we've been talking about for years and years, and he was talking about it, and typical, I guess, politician taking a little bit of credit for these things. So he's talking about the 10-year forgiveness program for public service employees. He was talking about the 20-year forgiveness program for everybody with the government-backed student loans. And he's like, my administration has made these things possible. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah, that was 2009.
About it.
That was 2009. Have you been president since 2009? Because I don't think so.
Yeah. But so it just caught my attention. It was almost like he was doing all the things that we have talked about. Yeah. But I'll tell you what's important right now, Jim. Right now, what I'm seeing is, it was October, and I think there's been a little bit of like a big delay in rolling it out, but this is when student loans started to have to go back into repayment. Right. They have been on deferral, automatic deferral because of COVID related stuff. And this was the month where student loans started to having to be repaid again. And if you have not paid attention to that, number one, if you're not making payments, you haven't arranged something, it's going to start reporting late on your credit. So that's a huge problem. Could be potentially a huge problem for prospective home buyers, or if you're just trying to get any type of credit.
It will affect your credit.
And late payments is going to start affecting your credit for sure. So it doesn't matter whether you're doing a house or car or credit card or any type of, you're trying to borrow money, your credit obviously is important. So that's number one. Number two is these payments are going to be shocking to people. And so you've gone from owing nothing for a while now to owing what could be a big number depending on your balance.
Why is it going to be shocking? Aren't you going to go back to the payments that you were supposed to be making 3 years ago, or are they going to change the numbers on you?
Some people have never made a payment on their student loan ever, Jim. Right? They've had it, maybe they were in school or they took a deferral or whatever, and then for 3 years now they haven't had to pay. And so I'll just say it's shocking because it was nothing to something.
Well, and have adjusted their budgets in the last 3 years to maybe
forget about it.
Well, yeah, just be like, that's not even part of my budget.
It's not part of the budget.
They get $1,200
of
COVID money.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people I know were waiting, like, you remember President Biden's, one of his first initiatives was to anybody had 10,000, up to 10,000 was just going to be forgiven. Of course, that got shot down for whatever reasons, like legitimate or not. But and this latest one that he was touting was not the same thing. It was like, something that he could get through, but it didn't affect everybody like the other one. So it's just one of those things where you can't ignore it. You have to arrange something, even if you call and say, hey, I need another deferral. I don't know what's on the table for most people, but I will say this: get into the income-based repayment options, get into the loan forgiveness if you haven't gotten there already.
Yep.
It's the best game in town. It seems to be the only one that has any legs.
Yeah, it's the only one that's been working for 10 years now.
Yeah.
Well, and it's locked in too. So like when you go to floridatalkrealestate.com, you get the ball rolling. Not only is it going to cost you no money to find out exactly if you qualify for the program and what your payment is going to be for a year.
Yeah.
Locked in for a year to the penny before you even make any payment to the law firm or anything. And then our experience over the years is a couple of months payments that, by the way, you're going to have to be paying here soon anyway, is going to take care of your costs to get it done. You're automatically in this like reset situation where every year they're going to reach out to you and be like, let's reapply, see where you're at. And you could be in a world where you have a $0 payment locked in for a year that counts towards your accumulation. I mean, these are real world scenarios. I'm not just cherry picking like this happened once too. This is real stuff.
This
we've seen over
happens
the years.
all the time, and it's all calculated on regular formulas. There's no guesswork on this.
Nope.
If you have a government-backed loan, it's all based on real numbers. It isn't an art. It's not an art. This is a science, not an art. And the other thing is that we had Paul Krasker come to our office at Keller Williams a week ago Thursday to teach the student loan program again. We had about 20, 25 agents come, but we also offered the public to come, from the show. And we had Sam come in, and Sam has a one of those toxic student loans that were supposed to be written off, but it hadn't. I think it was Corinthians or something.
Oh, you mean one of the schools that went
under. So he's probably going to get all his debt forgiven, but it's very complicated. And I'm so glad he came to that class because he talked to Paul, and Paul had this strategy I wouldn't have figured out for him, where he's gonna try to get all the money reduced and forgiven because of the toxic student education he got. But at the same time, he's going to go into the income debt related program, just in case he doesn't get the other thing, that he has a safety net, that he's not behind.
Good.
And you really need that. So going to Paul Krasker to get the free advice on how to handle this is such a awesome benefit of listening to this station.
And I still talk to people who think they're in the right program and they're not.
They're not.
And so the thing is, like, I think you can do this on your own. You can make sure you get into the loan program with forgiveness on your own. Sometimes your employers, especially if let's say you work for the school county or the public sector, they might have education within the organization that tells you how to do these things. And so I love all that. But if you're the average Joe and you're just calling your student loan servicer, you may not get into the right program. They might paint it as like, hey, this is we're gonna
think about it. You're going to the person that's trying to make money off of you for the loan and saying, hey, I want a reduction. Do you think they're going to give you the best situation for you, or are they going to give the best situation for them in a bad situation for them? So what they do is say, hey, Mike, you want a $513 a month payment? I'm just making it up. Let's say you're paying $1,000. You want a $513 a month payment? We'll give you that, no problem.
Right.
But you don't get that after 20 years. You still owe whatever you haven't paid with
and
their
your
program.
interest is accruing, and your loan is growing instead of shrinking. And so, you just have to go to someone you can trust to give you the right information.
Yeah. So, I hate being I love whenever people can benefit, right? Especially government sucks enough, but if they can do things to make lives better, that's at least they're doing something functional, right? To me, this is one of those moments, and maybe it's because I don't benefit from it, but I look and go, we're trying to slow inflation, and they're just saying, here's a bunch of people, here's a bunch of money for you to go spend on other things besides your obligation. Feels like we're
next week.
This is off, but
Johnny, we got to talk next week. I want to talk so much about the economy next week with you because there's so much going on that you and I have questions about.
Oh yeah.
So
the timing of it all is just peculiar at best.
We're in such a weird situation where people are saying inflation's going down, it's going down, but the job market is going strong as ever. interest rates are sky high, treasury yield bonds out of control. I
wild.
mean, it's just the whole thing is going crazy right now.
And
So,
the real estate market is still strong.
Holding.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm just wondering if it's like one more chop at the base and that's it. The whole thing comes over. You know what I mean? You just don't know at this point. It's just crazy.
We'll find out together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are nails I hear on the floor, by the way.
Yeah.
Just saying. Thank you very much for being with us. You hear that music? That means we are done with our portion of the day. I know Greek shooting some pool over here. I think Joe's coming in. Jim, are you going to stick around?
Yeah, we're going to stick around and do a couple hours of sports talk before the Florida Gators take over at 1 o'clock with their pregame.
Man, Gators got homecoming today. If they lose to Vandy for a homecoming,
is that possible?
Oh my God! Yes, it is possible.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's not
this
good to
is
lose
gonna
your
be
homecoming game.
tragic.
That's going to be a bad day.
Yes, Jim. Yes,
You got
it
the
is.
FSU guys rooting for them.
He
it
says
sounds
they're
like.
not going to lose the homecoming game.
It's a tough. I mean, that's a tough game to lose.
It is.
You know.
It would be
To
tough.
Vandy.
Yeah.
But I'm coming off a week where, like, we're used to beating. When I say we, the Gators, this is home of Florida Gator football here at Real Radio.
Sure is.
I am used to. My life is accustomed to beating up on Kentucky. That is not the norm anymore.
You got to win your homecoming game.
Vandy at home for homecoming is a must-win. Gators, let's go.
Do it.
Ross, have a great weekend.
Thanks, man. You too.
Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach.
Juno, that's right.
Thank you for everything. Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate you always. And Jimmy D, Jim DePola, Florida Home Pros, Keller Williams Innovations. Always great to see you. Have an awesome weekend.
Happy South Florida.
There's my man. Jimothy, always a pleasure, my dude.
Have a good weekend, gentlemen. Always a pleasure.
We'll be listening. Of course, we encourage you all to stick around in the locker room. They're going to squeeze out some sports for you here. And we'll be back next Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate is it.com. Know it, use it, love it, and share it. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. And it's 2 hours of infotainment every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
No one gives a big warm hug like us when you need it. Come on, get in here. Tell your smart device to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio. What?
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hear the latest news from the headlines on your phone. Download the free iHeartRadio app for exclusive live coverage of breaking news. From what's happening where you live to what's happening across the country. Live from the center of the story. Listen for free anywhere, anytime. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.